Hi everyone, this is the small glass cutter. And so what we use this particular machine for is if we have a cut that we could not cut in any other way, we would want to make sure that we use the glass cutter. And as you know, this inside cut is not possible without a piece of equipment like this. So what we'd want to do is we'd first make sure that we have our design drawn onto the piece of glass exactly like we wanted to cut. And in this case, I would want to make sure all the inside pieces are left and I could actually cut on my black Sharpie line. However, I do need to make sure that there's water in this machine before I actually start using it. And so there is a water line right here, and you would want to make sure that there's water that is filled all the way up. If there's not, you would need to get a container, get water, and you would be able to pour it right into the top. So this is perforated, so you'd be able to pour it right through the top of here until it finally reaches that line right here that we want it to be at. And then the next thing that we want to understand is that black Sharpie comes off quite easily on glass. And so the way that we take care of that is we have a box of wax right here. And so we would take the wax and we want to rub it onto the surface. Now in the same container is a little brush, and so it makes it a little less gross for you. And what you would do is you would just pick up some of your wax and then you would run it along that line all the way across. So you go all the way around in order to make sure that that line is covered. And then once you have that line covered, that is going to help protect that Sharpie line so that it doesn't come off while you're cutting. Because when it's going through the blade, we need to make sure that the glass is wet. And the reason we want to keep the glass wet is, one, it helps prevent thermal shock on the glass so that it is less likely to shatter on us. The second one is the bit here is filled with diamonds, and we need to lubricate those so that they are less likely to break off. And then we also want to make sure that any dust that is created by doing this, that it is wet and so therefore not airborne, causing us to breathe it in. And so you are going to find there's quite a bit of water that comes out when we turn it on. And so sometimes I joke that it's almost like taking a bath, but it still works and there's no other way to get a really good glass cut. Now, when you get ready to start the machine, you are probably going to have to plug this machine in. But before you plug it in, you need to verify that you have permission to use it. So this happens to be one of the machines in class that as a first year, you're not going to use a lot. As a second year, you're going to get to know it really well. But as a first year, it turns out that sometimes you guys are not that gentle and you're still learning to cut glass, and I want you working on that skill. But if you were to give them permission to use it, what you're going to do is you're going to walk over, plug it in, and then you're going to simply turn it on. When you're cutting, you can cut, this blade is round and circular, and so therefore you can cut in any direction. So you can simply slowly move into the piece of glass, move it in this direction, and then you can even like start to turn it if you want to. It will